Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with my 64 subscriber and game room update special. So I thought, now that I've got 64 subscribers and inspired by EEPROM 9 about going in, since we're all about retro computing and 8-bit and 16-bit, that I'd do the subscriber videos in byte orientated numbers. So 64 is my first one, and I thought it's about time that I did a collection update, because the collection has definitely progressed since I first started, both getting more things that are existing that I had out of storage, getting them out and working again, and also building up the collection of new systems and games titles. Plus we've got some new shelving in the Lair. So I'll just do a quick pan of the setup of one side and go around, and that's my desk where I do my work from. Video rendering there. I have another desk where another person comes in. We have yet more stuff here that I'm going through, some loose things, and then more of the computers over this side. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll start, sorry to get motion sickness there. We'll start over here with some of the computers. Now, the one in focus here is a Texas Instruments TI-99-4A. Now, the very first computer that I bought, that's the power supply for it, was a Texas Instruments TI-99-4, which is the same as this machine, except it had a chiclet keyboard, so not a full travel keyboard like this one. When I bought it second hand off somebody, because they were getting a new model, and they were supposed to give me the advanced basic cartridge with it, and they never did, unfortunately. So my first go at programming a computer, and I was stuck with the Texas Instruments with its very, shall we say, primitive basic that it comes with it, and very limited and very slow. Whereas the advanced basic allowed you to do automatic sprites and things like that. But that's sort of what sent me down the road of the Texas Instruments video chips. Now, the next system that I owned was actually a Spectra Video SV318. Now, this is a 3-to-8, which is the larger model, and this is my original Spectra Video 3-to-8. And below it, skipping one computer there, is the expansion bus interface, where you could expand that with 2 disk drives. Now, this system is quite old, and I've got to get the drives working again. The actual computer I've got working. I've still got one sticky key to fix, but other than that, the computer works fine. The tape player, which is up there, has some motor slip problems, so I do have some repairs to do on that old system. Now, I'm not going to be able to do this chronological order. Take forever jumping around. Now, another one of my original systems is an Amiga 1000. Now this one still could do with more cleanup, and it was in storage for a long time, but it is fully working. Just that I have other Amigas, so and I prefer using those ones than the 1000, because you've got to put in the extra kickstart disc all the time. But it is a good one for the collection of showing all the eras of the Amigas. Okay, now coming across, we'll do up the top here, we have some of the boxes that I have for the systems. I mean, there's a Spectra Video power supply there as well, so I have an Xbox Entertainment Pack, Sega Master System 2, there's my PSP box, and my PS2 Slim, and my original PS2 Fat. I actually have 3 PS2s in the family. I picked up another PS2 Fat for $10 and got it working. I have my Dingo portable, which will be inside the house. I have the Atari 400 that a friend of mine gave me recently, and I swapped in for some wood, and it's the entertainment pack. Came with a couple of cartridges. The original box of joysticks. That's a scanner for the Atari ST. Boxes in worse for wear. Monster Rumble for the PS2. We have a graphics tablet that will work on the original Spectra Video, and the cassette tape software is in there as well. Obviously can't load it because of the cassette tape problem. We have slightly worse for wear, but a Spectre Video 738 Express, which is an MSX 1 and a bit machine. It could actually be expanded to an MSX 2. Now there is actually another Spectre Video in there. I've got my one out there, that's my friend's and his box. Okay, now the actual collection. Now this shelf is some of my Atari 2600 box games and my Sega Mega Drive loose games. Going down to the next shelf we have a few more boxed Atari 2600 games. All of the software and bits and pieces for my Apple Newton, and there's the Apple Newton there. And then we have magazines and software, box software for the TI-99 and books for the TI-99. Now next shelf we have my loose Atari 2600 cartridges. Sorry, that's an extra one, that's available for trade. Little pile of manuals. My 3 in television cartridges, looking very lonely in the middle there. Then we have my 7800 cartridges. Do you like the 7800 system? Then we come down to the next shelf. We've got the software for the Atari 8-bit computers. So I've got a few boxed XE labelled ones, and then a few boxed. Well, there's one boxed original, and 3 boxed of the middle series, and then various loose cartridges. Some of them I've taken around the boxes. So I do have quite a few 8-bit software titles. So there's quite a few. They're very hard to display all the titles because they're on the front instead of the top. Otherwise, they're all on the cartridge. That's an Activision. I don't know what it was now, River 8 or something, I think. We have a pile of manuals. Now down here are all of the boxed Atari ST titles that I have. A lot of development software there because I used to do development for the Ataris. And while I'm down here, so the next section, poor MSXs, I'm currently all crammed into this section there. So I actually have a few things for the MSX. I recently picked up this in a recent video, that's a new one. But there are more tapes and things back there. So like I said, I'm not going to do too much into the detail here. Now we've got some loose Spectre Video manuals there, and then we get into the Mega Drive games. Getting a few Mega Drive box games now. And then, sorry, I'll come down the bottom again. Then we have my PS2 collection. Now these are in no particular order, and it's not all of the titles because any ones the kids are interested in are inside in 2 different bedrooms. So probably just about anything to do with Lego or The Simpsons or Rockstar and SingStar are all inside. So I do have quite a few PS2 titles there, and I quite enjoy playing those. Now in this section I have my ColecoVision collection, which is actually coming along quite nicely now, and hiding in there is my one Amstrad CPC game, R-Type. So the ColecoVision titles are coming along nicely. In this section we have Nintendo 64 and some box ones there. Not all these boxes have games in them anymore because they were from the time when we got all our Nintendo 64 stuff stolen. I had about 20 games. I had every single Star Wars ones as the boxes go. Also have some SNES games. Super Empire Strikes Back Star Wars. The Star Wars one's missing the cartridge because it was stolen. I have a couple of SNES titles, or my original Cricket, and the Dungeon Master I picked up recently, and when we get over to it, the Darius Twin is in there. Now these are the only PS1 titles that I have. A couple of good games there though. And then we start into the Sega Master System games. Now these are actually in alphabetical order, but in reverse. We've started at the end here. We've got some loose ones. So these are loose ones that I don't have box ones for. But I'm slowly getting a collection of them up around, I think, about 84 now. So there we go, there's A, these are all in reasonable condition, and obviously when I get a better one I replace any ones that are looking a bit sad. So we're getting a few titles there now. And down there. Now next we start on our systems. So I have a so my original GameCube. That works, and I think I've got 4 controllers. There's a little stereo there. We have an original Sony PS1, and next to that is the Japanese PC Engine, which I picked up recently, a very welcome part to the collection. And I have R-Type 1 and 2 coming for that at the moment. Now I've got everything plugged into this Philips TV. It's great because it's got actually 3 AV inputs, which helps a lot. So in our cabinet here, let's get down low. So we have the PS2 Slim. It's just a digital TV box. We have the original Xbox. We have the Nintendo 64. We have the original NES, which is being a bit glitchy at the moment. Have Sega Master System 2. My 7800. And my ColecoVision. Put those back, and everything is wired up. I have to change an RF lead between the Master System and the 7800. And the ColecoVision is into the other side of a switch I've got around the back. So they're the only 3 RF systems. Around the side I have a double of AV selectors, and I've got a third one coming, so because there's 3 inputs to this TV. And there's the RF selector, so I've got one of the good, more modern Sega ones, and that actually gives a clearer picture. Then we have my Mega Drive, which is due for a clean, getting a bit dusty there. Damn that dust. And now I have the proper AV connector on the back of that. That makes it nice and solid. And I have a arcade power stick too, which is absolutely awesome for playing the games. Now up here we have the Super Nintendo or SNES with Darius, the very dirty but works Darius Twin in it, which I've gotten into more. Just a video recorder in case I want to go for any records. We have up here my Atari XE system, as it's known. That's the actual model name, where they turned it more into a video game like thing, and you can see I've been playing thing, and this proves that US cartridges work. So both of these titles, so this was bought in Australia, and this came with that Atari 400 US NTSC one up there. They both work fine. Okay, next cubicle. So in this section, bit of a mixed bag. We have my GameCube titles, my original Xbox titles, the 4 Neo Geo CD titles I picked up recently are there, and my Lynx Mark II and its power supply. Next we have my NES cartridge collection, so I have quite a few loose ones. I've stopped looking for those at the moment until I get a working NES again. Now it works, but it works when it wants to, and I've already replaced the edge connector, so, and disabled the lockout chip, so to no avail. Have some like a clear Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy Color, and a Donkey Kong 2 in Game Boy in very good condition. Down the bottom here we have my boxed Lynx games and boxed Game Gear games, and there's a loose Lynx game down there, and my parts for fixing Sony PSP UMDs. In here have my current Game Gear titles, so I've got a few of those, and in this box have a whole heap of original Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy Color and some accessories, and there's a few good games in there, so I just keep those in those boxes. Next I have my PSP collection, missing one title at the moment because it's been borrowed. And behind here we have all of the DS games. Now, I'm not terribly into DS games myself, these are all really for my daughters. And it's amazing how many they picked up. Oh, I do have some U&D movies for the PSP in there. One of the most recent additions is my Neo Geo Pocket Color. And I've quick thing there because I didn't actually show it working. Works fine, and the screen is lovely and clear, perfectly visible. And there we go, we'll do a metal slug there. We'll do a gameplay now because we're doing a tour. In here I have my boxed Amiga games, and another section of boxed Amiga games. Oh, and my favourite Mega Drive game, Hellfire, sitting there. So quite a few adventure games there, and the Ladder C compiler for the Amiga. Alright, now coming across we have the comfy gaming chair that's seen some better days. So, oops, sorry, I almost forgot. So this is my science fiction collection of books. I have an original Atari Woody. It's missing one switch there, but this is the one that belonged to my friend. So he owned the 2600. My next door neighbour owned an Intellivision, and I later on owned a ColecoVision. But the ColecoVision I have there is not mine either. There's a spare Master System. Okay, now I set up over here, mainly because it needs particular monitors, is the my Atari 1040 ST. I actually have a spare one of these as a machine as well. The Megafile removable hard drive expansion unit. There was one with a permanently fixed hard drive as well, but this one's a lot easier to deal with because it has cartridges. I do have to try and pick up some more spare of these cartridges. And I have a fair bit of Atari ST software on floppies. And there's another box down there. And generally that cupboard's got storage in it. Right, so we come over here. So this is where I work. Yes, I am that messy. Up here we have, getting my award out of the way there, my original development books for MSX and Spectre Video, including a copy of the book that I wrote. My iPhone development books, it's not all of them. We have a whole lot of Amiga manuals back there, and Amiga books there. That's a box of Amiga discs, so that was my Amiga discs before one of my recent pickups. There's all the loose stuff for the Apple Newton. I need to know one of those little black boxes to put it in. Now this is another workstation that I get somebody to come in and do some work for me as well. And these are the discs that I got recently for the Amiga. I've been gradually working my way through some of them and working them out, but I've got 4 boxes of just loose discs. There's a whole box of like magazine discs and another little half box as well. So I've been going through those and tidying the labels up to see my handwriting and difference. Now also another recent system pickup that I really like, so I sort of sit on a chair here to play this one, is my Vectrex. I only got the built-in game at the moment, and my joystick is a little bent, but it still works. Other than that, it's in pretty good nick. I have the 32-in-1 cartridge on the way, has been posted. It'll probably take a month or so to get here all the way from France. And the other day I won a single Vectrex cartridge as well, so that'll show up and be a pickup video shortly. I won't say which one it is, but I will give away that I got it for 1 cent. Okay, now we have storage, so controllers and things. I have another Arcade Pro Stick and lots of joysticks and cables for various systems. With their comics and my pool cues. I now have 2 external add-on hard drives for Amiga 500s there. Right, this is what a Spectre Video 738 looks like out of the box. And it's got a floppy drive on the side. Then over here we have an Amiga 1081 monitor, which is a fantastic little monitor. It has a SCART socket on the back, it's quite high resolution, gives a very good picture. I've got a SCART switch coming. At the moment I have to manually pull the cable out, and that will allow me to hook up my Philips MSX2 and the 2 Amigas. So we have, get that out of the way, we have my Amiga 1200, and sitting underneath is my Amiga 500. And we've got another floppy drive back there. So that way I can use most of these computers just by flicking that switch. So hopefully they'll arrive in a week or so. It's coming from England. You pretty much can't buy SCART switching equipment in Australia anymore. Even though most of the TVs have got a SCART socket on the back, it just never really took off. And I've got some various storage and things. Alright, now there are certain YouTube channels that have inspired me and got me into collecting in the first place. I'll name a couple of them now, and I'll put a whole heap of them as links down the bottom of my video. So these are the people who've supported me from the beginning, talked to me or responded to comments on a regular basis, and watch my videos and things like that, and I'd like to give them some thanks back. The main couple that I would like to mention vocally in the video, and please don't get offended if I leave anybody out, but the very first person I've subscribed to was Mark Vigier, and him and I have sort of have similar collecting tastes, I feel, and he's been collecting for a lot longer though. But we both like the MSX machines and the Amigas. Steve Benway, a wonderful collector of old systems, and does fantastic gameplay reviews that are always very interesting. Retro Game VX videos are always very amusing. And also another good online friend is One MSX To Go. A collector for a long time and a very friendly person. Now, there are lots of others, and I can't really mention them all because the video is probably running really long. I'll put as many as possible in the links below, so check them out. They're all very good channels. So if you come across this video and are interested in similar things, watch their videos, and I'm sure you'll be very pleased. Alright, thank you very much. Thank you for all of my subscribers so far, and hope to be, keep the collection going, and we'll see what it looks like once I reach 128 subscribers. Alright, thank you very much.